Hello one and all, I am currently battling a cold and taking a little bit of a break from, working on stuff for the channel. But I put up a Twitter poll fairly recently, and basically it was like, what do you guys want to see? And one of the unanimous things, or not completely unanimous, but one of the things that you guys said that you wanted to see was my strategy guide collection. And I have quite a lot of strategy guides, probably over, probably like close to 40 to 50 strategy guides, at least, just looking at this pile. So I've sorted these all out. I'm going to be going through each strategy guide basically to showcase really quickly what I have, what my collection is, and I've broken these up into various different categories. So, figured we'd take a look at them. Alright, so first we're going to get started with the hardcover strategy guides. These are strategy guides that I have that are hard covered, and that's pretty much it. So, and these are like kind of one-offs, if you will. So the first one is Hyrule Warriors. This is the limited edition one or whatever. And I wish you could see, unfortunately you can't really see the whole image because of the spine, so you can't really see it, which is unfortunate. But this is a great strategy guide full of really cool stuff. And one of the reasons why I really like strategy guides is because of the art. And so, you could see some of the stuff like that, which is really cool. Like the weapons and, how the characters use the weapons. So it's really cool. Next one is Bayonetta 2. And this one is really cool. I got this at a trade event for about $2 actually. So, gorgeous cover art there. And this one is less of an art book. It's more of an actual legit strategy guide, if you will. And it's got some art that you wouldn't normally see. Here's some behind the scenes. It also has like interviews and stuff with the staff. This is an interview with the director. So really cool strategy guide there. And the last hardcover one that I have that I wanted to showcase separately is Star Fox Zero, which is really cool. I love the look of it. It also comes with a poster, which I'll show you in a sec, but there's the Star Fox strategy guide for Star Fox Zero. And again, it comes with a poster, which is really cool. So one of the reasons why I really like collecting strategy guides, because sometimes they come with really cool posters. And this one is no different. I mean, this is super cool. Look at this. Try to get it open without ripping it. Look at that, huh? That's awesome. And then I love this right here. Look, check it out. Hold on, it's not wanting to open properly. There we go. How cool is that, huh? Alright, next up is my Mario stuff. So I've got some stuff from childhood, but most of these I've kind of collected over the years. Here's two right away. Mario RPG. This is the original strategy guide, the Nintendo published one. And then there's this one, same thing, but this is for Super Paper Mario, which is really cool. This was like one of the last strategy guides that Nintendo put out. I think just Prima Games puts out strategy guides, but this one's actually from Nintendo Power, which is really cool. And this one I actually got when I bought the game complete in box from a local game store. They had the guide and the game, so they kind of combined them into a deal for I think at the time when I bought it, I think I paid maybe $80 to $90 for the set, which is a pretty good offer at the time. No real posters or anything in these, but they're really cool. And then this one, Mario Galaxy, this one I got for about $2. And this one's the Premier Edition. This one also comes with a poster. I haven't opened the poster yet, but it does come with a poster. Yeah, this one's by Prima Games. And then here's some childhood ones. This one is Mario 3. This is some of these childhood ones are not very well kept, unfortunately. I thought it was really funny that I wrote my name and then I like crossed it off. Like, why would I do that? Like, so weird. I don't know. But yeah, this is the Mario 3 strategy guide. So it's really cool. You get to see some art in these that you wouldn't normally see. It's pretty neat. This one also has another missing cover. This is the Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island strategy guide, and this one, same thing. You know, this is barely held together. As you can see, the side is shredded. It's just, you know, these for the most part sat on bookshelves for years, and then you know, they just haven't, you know, they at one point all ended up in a closet somewhere, and then I found them all. And when I moved out of my dad's house years and years ago, I've been out of my dad's house now, my home house from where I lived when I was a kid, probably for about 10 years now, actually. Yeah. So I've just been, you know, living on my own, living with friends or living with my now wife. Here's another really cool one, Mario 64. This one actually was sent to me, so you can see the like my name somewhere on there. So it's pretty cool. Pretty neat. Whoop. See that? Page fell out. These are just in really rough shape, unfortunately. Next up, more Nintendo Power stuff. This one right here is Nintendo Power Advance. This was a Game Boy Advance exclusive that came out with the launch of Game Boy Advance, and they basically it's a strategy guide for some really cool. I mean, it's got, so it's basically a Nintendo Power issue, but they covered only Game Boy Advance games. One of the reasons why I bought this is because I wanted to, I'm obviously a big Castlevania fan, and so I wanted the strategy guide for Castlevania Circle of the Moon, because there is no strategy guide for Circle of the Moon. This is basically it. This is the Game Boy player's guide, and it basically has codes and various things for different game strategies, maps. So it's pretty cool. They cover a lot of like older games, if you will. A lot of like previews of games, but it's like tons and tons of stuff that came out. This came out probably a couple years after the Game Boy was out, so they kind of cover a lot of stuff. And then this one is probably in the worst shape of all my strategy guides. You guys may remember me showing it off in the Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest review that I did for Dude You Haven't Played This Game. This is the NES Atlas, and like I said, it's in really beat up shape. You can see the back cover is unfortunately starting to come off. I'm missing the first like couple pages because this has the Mario 2. And like I said before, it's really cool to look through these strategy guides because they showcase a lot of really neat stuff and a lot of really cool art that you wouldn't normally see. But this NES Atlas is awesome because it covers, here, look at that. That's so freaking cool. It covers a lot of childhood games, including Mario 1, 2, and 3, Zelda 1 and 2, Mega Man 1 through 3, Star Tropics, Disney's DuckTales and Rescue Rangers, Ninja Gaiden 1 and 2, TMNT 1 and 2, Castlevania 1 through 3. Let me show you the Castlevania art, which is really cool. Like that's super neat. These are some assorted Nintendo Power published strategy guides for specific games. So we have Perfect Dark, and this is the official strategy guide from Nintendo Power. And this one's pretty in depth. Totally forgot about this one. Top Secret Passwords. This one I use to death. This has all codes. It's all secrets and codes and really cool stuff. And this covers everything from NES, Super NES, Game Boy. This one was awesome back in the day. This was like, and this is again my childhood like copy. This is the copy I've owned since I was a little kid. So Jet Force Gemini, which is a very underrated N64 game. These are mostly like Super Nintendo and N64 games. And same thing with this. I mean, they have these huge maps detailed for where to go, what to do. Yeah, like they show you all the weapons, the items. And what is this, a poster? No, it's just like a fold-out map of all the levels. Definitely one of my favorite N64 games. Here's another one, Banjo-Kazooie. Both Banjo and Jet Force Gemini I got for pretty cheap. $3.95. You know, just again, a very classic strategy guide. Next up we have Donkey Kong Country 1, 2, and 3. 3 I bought from a game store. I bought it for I think maybe $6, and it's in okay shape. These two, Donkey Kong Country 2 and Donkey Kong Country, are childhood copies for the strategy guides. These ones I've had since I was a little kid. Next we'll talk about Zelda. Alright, this is a childhood copy of Link's Awakening. This is the original strategy guide that came out, and if I recall, there's some really cool art in here, like they tell the story of everything. This is a strategy guide that I picked up from Savers, Zelda Spirit Tracks. The front cover's kind of torn up a bit, if you can see that, but you know, it's really nice strategy guide. Next up, this is Oracle of Seasons and Ages for Zelda Game Boy Color, and this one I picked up for $7.95. Sometimes I keep the stickers on them, I don't know why, but this one I really wanted to get because I remember not having it, and that one I picked up fairly recently. These two I have had since childhood, or my teenage years. This is Zelda Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. This one I got in the mail through Nintendo Power, and I think this one as well. No, this one I remember I bought at Toys R Us, actually. So I remember using this like to get through the game, and like this was like my Bible for this game. Like I would play the game, and if I got stuck, I would go to the strategy guide. So Majora's Mask I didn't really use the strategy guide for. I think I got up to like the ice world or the ice whatever. Yeah, I think it was like the ice planet or whatever, the ice level, and I gave up. This is the only other hardcover one that I have. I didn't include it because it was Zelda, and I was like, it's Hyrule Warriors is like its own thing. But this is the Link Between Worlds like collector's edition strategy guide, and I love that the pages are like gold. Like, look at that, that's so cool. This one doesn't include a poster or anything, unfortunately, but you know, it's a really nice strategy guide. I love the hardcover. It feels like a textbook. You know, it's really cool. So now we're gonna move into some like assorted like GameCube era, like GameCube up until like maybe like PSP, PS2 era, like that whole era of games. Also, I think included in that are like maybe like some Wii games. So that is going to be what's up next. Okay, so speaking of PSP, this is the 3rd birthday. I picked this up used. You know, it was basically in brand new, top-notch shape, and I love the art that they showcase in this. So this one, one of the reasons why I picked up this strategy guide for this game is even after reading like the manual, I had no clue what was going on. Here, this is cool. They showcase the characters, which is pretty neat. There's Ayabria. This is Beautiful Joe 1 and 2. I did not pay $14.99 for that. In fact, I paid $1.95 for it, right there. And this one, I think the same thing. No, $3.95 for the strategy guide for that. And you know, I wanted these because I remember getting stuck in the first game. And next one is Wario Land Shake It. And this one also does come with a poster, which I have not opened up yet. But this one, you know, again, pretty standard Wario strategy guide for the Wario games. This one's super helpful because it'll help you with, you know, this game's pretty difficult with, you know, trying to unlock everything and trying to get the best scores. So that'll be super helpful. Next two are Ninja Gaiden 1 and 2. This is for the newer Xbox games that came out. Looks like I paid about $6.99 for this one, and this one I believe was less than that. I think I paid maybe $2 for it. And you know, this one I really like because in the back here you get to see the bosses, and they kind of show off like all the like really cool art. So that's what's cool about these books, is like they're partially like art books in a way, but they're also of course strategy guides. So next up we have more Capcom goodness, PNO3, which is a very underrated game. I beat this one a while back, and you know, a lot of the rooms in this game are very similar. So one of the reasons why I bought this is so that I could figure out how to unlock all the costumes. So yeah, PNO3, very cool game. I'd like to review that someday. Kirby 64. This can't be right. This is EB Kids, a penny. I don't think I paid a penny for this, but this is a very pink, very colorful strategy guide, which is, this is Spider-Man, the official strategy guide. You know what? I got this at a convention, so I probably paid $1 for it, because I think it was in the dollar bin. And you know, I don't even know, I couldn't even tell you why I got this one, probably because I wanted to unlock all the comic books, but I haven't actually sat down and done that. So that's Spider-Man for like Dreamcast, N64, PlayStation 1. Here's some Sonic stuff. This is Sonic Colors, the strategy guide for Sonic Colors. Mostly I wanted to get this so that I could figure out how to unlock everything in the levels. So some cool art in that strategy guide. Next one is Sonic Advance 2. This one I got for $2.95, and I really dig the Sonic Advance series, specifically the second game. I remember I saw a preview for it in the Sonic Adventure 2. They showcased a preview of the game, and I saw the trailer and was like totally hooked. Like, I thought it was awesome. Interesting tidbit about Sonic Advance 2. The song that they play in Sonic Advance 2 is not, it is in the trailer, never made it into the actual game. Alright, so Star Fox Adventures for the N6, or not N64, the GameCube. And this one doesn't really have that much art to it. Here's Splatterhouse, and again, this is the re-release that came out on Xbox 360. Again, I specifically got it so I could figure out how to unlock all the unlockables, like the pictures and whatnot. So, Splatterhouse. Luigi's Mansion. Again, pretty simplistic strategy guide. This one I paid $1.95 for. And Metal Gear Solid. A lot of my like local game stores have strategy guides for dirt cheap, like used strategy guides. So this one's really cool. I love the back art on this with Snake. That's super cool. So, and then here they show the characters with all the art in it. Sniper Wolf. Super cool. Cameo, Elements of Power. Exclusive manga preview inside, apparently. Oh, that's pretty neat. They have like a manga. It's pretty cool. So there's like exclusive stuff in there that you wouldn't normally see anywhere else. Here's iNinja. I love this game. iNinja was one of my favorite games on GameCube. This one I got for $1.95. It's a pretty bare bones strategy guide. It's pretty thin. Beyond Good and Evil is the last one of this set of strategy guides, and again, really cool back art. Like, yeah, I've wanted to sit down and play through this one for a long time. I started it, I remember when I bought it, but I just never picked it back up. This one I got for about $10. Generally, I don't like paying more than that for a strategy guide. All right, next is the survival horror games. So the first one I want to showcase is Dino Crisis 1 and Dino Crisis 2. They help you with unlocking all of the costumes and all the various different things. They show you like detailed map layouts, tell you how to beat the bosses. Onimusha 1 and 2. Strategy guides. Again, same thing. These are survival horror games, so not a lot of art in these for the most part. They've got a little bit. Alright, and then we got Resident Evil stuff. This is Resident Evil Code Veronica, which I picked up for $3.95. This is the Code Veronica X version, which is cool. Resident Evil and Resident Evil Remake for the strategy guides. I specifically picked up the Remake strategy guide when I was working on the review for Resident Evil Remake. I love the back art on this. It's pretty awesome. This says it was for sale at Babbage's for $12.95, but I picked it up from a game store for about, I think I paid $20 for it. This one, same thing. I really needed it like as soon as possible. So this one again, I think I paid about $20 for this Resident Evil Remake guide, which I didn't end up actually really even using. I don't think. I think I maybe used it once during my playthrough. I had most of the game memorized. And the last one for that set is Resident Evil 0, which I got for $1. And again, some really cool like art throughout this one. All right, here's RPGs. These are assorted RPGs, not Final Fantasy related. Final Fantasy gets its whole separate category. This is Valkyrie Profile Lenneth. This is the re-release of Valkyrie Profile that came out on the PSP. This is a super detailed strategy guide, and you kind of need it because there's tons of characters that you can get in this game. This is a fantastic game, and so I really dig the strategy guide for this. I was glad that I picked this up. I got this for $6.95 at my local game exchange. All right, next up is Xenosaga 1 and Xenosaga 3. I don't have Xenosaga 2 strategy guide. What's really funny is that I ended up picking up this strategy guide for $3.95. This one, I grabbed a bunch. I was able to get the not the Piano 3, the Parasite Eve, the 3rd birthday one, this, as well as some other ones which we'll showcase in a few. But I've wanted to check out these games for a while now. I own the first one, and I ended up picking up the 3rd one shortly after I bought the strategy guide. So I'm very much looking forward to checking these out. This one's really cool because it has like character profiles. The art is just great in these. Here's some of the characters, and they give you like a stat sheet. So it's cool. It's super detailed. That's why I really prefer to have strategy guides when I play RPGs. Here's Infinite Undiscovery, which I ended up picking up because of Avalanche Jared's review. Go check it out. So the game itself, I think I also picked up fairly cheap, but unfortunately I paid way too much for this strategy guide. I was in New York, and I ended up paying like $15 for this, which I should have waited because I ended up seeing it at my local game shop afterwards for like maybe $7 or something like that. So kind of a waste of money, but this one has, again, character art. Looks like it might have a poster as well. I haven't ripped it out yet, but here's Shadow Hearts Covenant. Again, really cool art. Check out the back there. And this one I've been wanting to jump into for a while. Again, same thing. I have a lot of JRPGs and RPGs that I just haven't had the time to sit down and play through. The next two are Star Ocean games. Star Ocean: The Second Story and Star Ocean Till the End of Time. This one, I don't even own the game. I just basically picked up the strategy guide for $4 as part of that lot that I mentioned earlier. So I don't really know anything about the game itself. I do know that this comes with a poster, which is really cool. And look at this art in the back there. That's pretty funny. Star Ocean 2, I remember renting back in the day, and I ended up picking it up probably about a year or two ago. And so I ended up seeing the strategy guide on Amazon, and so I ended up picking it up for, I think, maybe $10, which is a pretty good value. Next one is a strategy guide that I'm so glad that I got back in my collection, which is Lunar: The Silver Star Story. And this one does have the stickers in the back. They would give you like these stickers, and there's like some sexy like pinup stickers, even with like Nash, the censored it out. What's really cool about this is it came with this offer for a free lunar poster, and I actually have the poster in the other room, but it's banged up. It's like in really bad shape just because it survived like 2 moves worth of, actually no, 3 moves. I used to have it up over my wall in my bedroom in my dad's house, and then I moved and it went in a bathroom like a downstairs bathroom, and it was hung up there for a while. Then it got destroyed a little bit, so it's not in the greatest shape, but I ended up recently finding it again and like hanging it up. It's impossible to find that. This strategy guide, unfortunately, has seen better days. This is not the original strategy guide for the game that I owned. This was one that I bought secondhand. I don't know what happened to the original one. I must have lost it. But this one, unfortunately, when strategy guide companies like make guides like this, the glue comes unhinged, unfortunately. And so this one I try to be a little careful with. But I love the game. Great game. Legend of Dragoon, which I ended up picking up the strategy guide for. This is another RPG that I've been wanting to play through for a long time now. But this one's really cool as well. Dragon Quest VIII strategy guide. Again, same thing. Just like such great art in these. I love the back cover there. Like, awesome. So, good stuff. And the last one is Grandia 2. This was actually given to me by a friend of mine. My buddy, I think it was Justin, who gave me this Grandia 2. I do own the game. I have it on Dreamcast. So, all right, let's go into the Final Fantasies, and then we're gonna wrap things up. All right, so it doesn't technically count, I guess, as a mainline Final Fantasy, but the first one I have here is Crisis Core. And again, this one does come with a really cool poster, which I have not opened up yet. I try not to open up the posters unless I'm actually considering hanging them up, but this one's pretty cool. I'm a huge Final Fantasy VII fan, so that one's awesome. This one I picked up on eBay a long time ago. This is Final Fantasy III, and this is the original Nintendo Power one. And I ended up picking this one up. Look at this. This is super cool. This is like Square's store. And they would sell like merchandise and stuff. So yeah, just like look at this art. Yoshitaka Amano's art was fantastic for this game. So yeah, this one I really want to. I bought it specifically to play through the game. I've only gotten a certain amount that I've gotten done with the game. Final Fantasy V. I picked this up at like a Toys R Us or something like that. And this one doesn't have any kind of poster or anything like that, I don't think. No, it's got a world map, which is really cool. Like, take a look at this. Boom, world maps. So that's pretty neat. This is for the advanced version of the game, which came out, which I had never played any version of the game until I bought the advanced version. So, Final Fantasy V Advanced. Alright, now this is going to be a little weird. Here's Final Fantasy VII. Final Fantasy VII. The reason I have two copies is this one I bought, well, let me go with this one first. This one I bought years ago. This was like when I bought the game. So this was, you know, back in high school when the game came out. And I have a printout here from when a couple friends of mine and I got together. We tried to beat the game. And we printed out this like FAQ for like additional information. So that was in the summer of 2005 when we tried to play through the game again. I was in college. And so this is my childhood copy basically. And this is just like a nicer copy that I ended up picking up that I got for super cheap. So, you know, again, I love the art in this for the characters. Red 13, Aeris, Barret, here we go, Tifa. Awesome, so love that strategy guide. Don't regret that I have two. The last two strategy guides are Final Fantasy games that I have not beaten, Final Fantasy VIII and Final Fantasy X. You know, Final Fantasy X I got pretty far in this. Actually, I got, I guess, to the Ice Temple, supposedly. So I put in the poster. I guess I opened up the poster. Let's take a look at this ginormous poster here. Oh, okay. So this looks like the chart for like leveling up. Oh, the sphere grid. That's right. So they gave you like a whole printout of the sphere grid. You know, you don't see a lot of stuff like this in manuals now, or even like strategy guides that still come out to this day, so it's really cool to have stuff like that. All right, let's move into the last three. All right, I'm a pretty big Tomb Raider fan as well, so this is Tomb Raider: The Last Revelation. This one I think I picked up for about $1.95. This is the one with young Lara, so it's pretty cool. Tomb Raider Legend. Tomb Raider Anniversary, which again comes with a poster supposedly, which nope, my version did not. Think I got that used as well. Tomb Raider 3, Tomb Raider 2, and Tomb Raider Uno, which I all picked up for $3.95 at my local game shop. I like the back covers of these. Got some really cool art there. CG art, if you will. This one is like super old. Look at this. It's got like comic art for Lara Croft. It's really cool. So this is Metroid. Metroid Prime Hunters on the DS. Gives you like the map layouts of everything. And what is this, a poster? Nope, just more maps. This is Metroid Zero Mission, the original official strategy guide. All these I picked up for the most part just through some cool art of Kraid. So all these I picked up used at a local game store. Usually I didn't pay less than $6, $7. This is Metroid Prime Corruption, and this one comes with a poster, which is super cool. See if we can open it up here without damaging it. The guide itself is, you know, just a strategy guide, but there's some cool art in here as well. Sometimes what I do is if I'm looking for some art that I want to put in a thumbnail, I will grab something from a strategy guide because I know that nobody else is really using it, so I'll scan that and edit that out. This is the strategy guide for Prime 2 Echoes, which this I did actually pick up when the game came out. Here's a combo guide of Prime 1 and Metroid Fusion. And this one I picked up used again at a game store. Pretty by the books strategy guide. This is the strategy guide for Metroid Other M, which I ended up grabbing when I was working on the review. And this one also comes with a super awesome, big, ginormous poster, which I will show you. That's pretty cool. So it's cool to have these, because like if I ever needed to like put up new posters, if I wanted to switch things up, I easily could, because I have all these posters that I'm not using, so I just keep them in with the strategy guides, and then if I wanted to use them, I can. All right, the last set is from Castlevania, and we'll start off with a smaller one here, Dawn of Sorrow, which I picked up used again at a game store. This one does come with it's like a poster, but it's like a map. I don't want to take it out, but this strategy guide is like brand new, and I picked it up used somewhere. It's a little one. I'm not sure why they decided to go with the smaller format, similar to the Lunar strategy guide, but maybe it's just because it's less paper to print, costs less. But not really too much art in this one, unfortunately. Then we have Portrait of Ruin, which no poster, but this one does have some really cool art. Yeah, there's Charlotte. So yeah, some pretty awesome art here in this one. So that's Portrait of Ruin. Then I have Lament of Innocence. No poster in that one, but there's some really, really, really nice art in this one. Then Curse of Darkness. This one I got for $4.95. And this one is super helpful because there's all this, there's this mechanic in the game that you have to work through where you have to like create these like relics, or like, not relics, where you have to take these characters and like level them up, these little like different like pumpkins and like all these different like, it's kind of like Pokemon in a way, but oh yeah, here they are. I can't remember what they called them. This is one of my favorite strategy guides. I'm glad I saved this one for the very, very last one. This is Castlevania 64. But what's really cool about this strategy guide is there is some art in here that I've never seen for the game. And it's all, well, for one, here's some really awesome art that you just, I never saw any of this art. They also did like a really cool like history of Castlevania in this one, which was pretty neat. So they went through like all the older games prior to 64. There's some concept art in this, which is really awesome. And there's monster sketches which weren't even in the manual. Like, look at these monster sketches. It's pretty cool. And I'm looking for, yeah, here it is. There's like these really neat like manga-esque, like anime manga style bits of art in there as well. I'm trying to find the one for Carrie. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, this is really cool. Like, and I've never seen any of this art anywhere. So, yeah, it's really neat. So this is one of the reasons why I wanted to collect strategy guides, was specifically when I saw this guide back in the day, because I've had this since I was a kid. So, you know, in 1999 or whenever the game came out. And so this is one of the reasons, this is one of the first strategy guides that I bought where I was like, okay, strategy guides are beyond just strategy. They're also covered in all kinds of really neat, interesting art that you've never seen anywhere else, that's really kind of obscure and kind of different. So when I had this one, this was the one that made me want to like start collecting strategy guides. So I'm interested in what you guys think. I know this was a very kind of long-winded video, and I wasn't going to show you every single page of every strategy guide, but I wanted to show you my collection. And you know, I'm interested in seeing your collections too. Feel free to make a video and leave it down in the comments below if you have a strategy guide collection that you want to showcase. What strategy guides do you guys have? Do you still collect strategy guides? Do you not collect strategy guides? And if you didn't, why not? So leave a comment down below. And as always, thanks so much for watching the channel. More content is on the way.